Hi everyone, it is December the 16th, 2018. Today is Sunday. I wanted to remind you very quickly that tomorrow will be Monday, December the 17th, 2018, and it will be the first day of our week-long series on prayer. Not the 5 P's of prayer, but just 5 P's of prayer. Because as you know, there's never-ending things we could say about prayer. So we're just going to look at 5 different areas of prayer. So that starts tomorrow. Again, I'm unable to go live because my live connection just will not stay for very long. So it will be videos, but I hope that you will. I hope you're getting your questions about prayer written down so that you can see if they're answered this week. Again, if they're not answered this week, I hope at the end of the week you will contact me with those questions and we'll see if we can't get them answered for you, okay? This morning I read in Matthew chapter 2. This is, of course, after Jesus was born, but he's still very young. And, of course, they've already gone Joseph and Mary are still in Bethlehem. And the background is King Herod hears that there's this child that's been born and they're calling him the King of the Jews. Okay, well, and he's wanting, he calls all of his wise men and his, it says, he called, hold on, I'm sorry. It says he gathered his chief priests and scribes of the people together, and he demanded of them where Christ should be born. So he's like, where is this guy? Where is this child? So when he found out where he was, he sends, in verse 7. Then Herod, when he had privately called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, Go and search diligently for the young child. And when ye have found him, bring me word again that I may come and worship him also. So he's like, okay, I want you to go find him. And when you found him, come and let me know so I can go worship him as well. Well, so they depart and they go and they find him. Let's see. Verse 10. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. And being warned of God in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed into their own country another way. And when they departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared unto Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise, take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word, for Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. I want to talk to you today about, and it's not going to be very long, doing what God tells you to do over what man tells you to do. As you just heard, Herod, he went through great pains and trouble to find out where Jesus was. And it wasn't so he could go worship. It wasn't because he had good feelings and good wishes in his heart and mind towards the new baby, the new King of the Jews. That was not it at all. Because if you look in verse 13, it says, For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. Herod wanted to kill baby Jesus. And so when Herod sent the wise men, they went. They obeyed their king. They went and they found the king. They found Jesus and they, worshipped him and they gave him their gifts or whatnot. But then God told them, no, don't go back. Even though Herod said, come back and let me know where he is. God said, don't go back. And they didn't. They chose to obey God over their earthly king. Now, you have to think for a second, because that would be kind of scary. I would think that would be kind of scary, because here is Herod, the king of, the whole known, Jewish world at that time, the Jewish country of that time. And so he's basically the most powerful man of the time in that area. And you just disobeyed him directly. To me, that would be kind of scary. So I would imagine that they went, it says they departed into their own country. So, I would imagine they went and kind of hid out where they were from, where, whatever. But, sometimes it is scary. It is scary when God, you're going along in life and you've got your career going and you've got, your family going or whatnot. Maybe you've got a hobby going on the side and it's going really well. And then all of a sudden God says, hey, I'm going to need you to stop this and start this. Or I'm going to need you to stop working here where you've been working for years and years and years, and I want you to go over here. Or I need you to pick up your family and move from here to way over there where you don't know anyone. It's scary. I know. But as you can see, there was a reason. There was a reason that God did not want them to return to Herod. And it was because Herod wanted to kill Jesus. There's always a reason. God doesn't ask you to do something without him having a very good reason for it. So even though it's scary, even though it's like, even though you may not even want to, you may not even want, deep down humanly, you may not even really want to do what God is asking you to do. But in the long run, it's always better to just go ahead and submit the first time and be like, okay, Lord, you know my heart. I really don't like having to do this, but I trust you. I trust you. I trust your plan for my life. So I'm going to do it anyway, trusting that you know what's best for me. It's better in the long run that we do that. Because if we don't, if we go the other route where we kick and we fuss and no, I'm not leaving. No, I'm not moving. No, I'm not doing this. No, no, no. Then that's when the Lord has to step in and bring things into your life that, to try to get your attention, because again, his will be accomplished no matter what. And like my daddy used to tell me, we can do this the easy way or we can do this the hard way. It's up to you. That's basically the way it is with God. You can do it the easy way, which is go ahead and surrender, whether we like it or not. Go ahead and surrender. Just be honest with him. Lord, I don't like this, but I trust you. So I'm going to go ahead and do this and have a good attitude about it and, surrender. Or you can be like, nope, I ain't doing it. And then things kind of get rough after that. But in the long run, you end up where he wants you anyway. I don't know about you, but I think it's just better and easier if we just, even though we don't want to, do what he wants from the beginning. Not only that, not only did the wise man in this chapter obey God, but Joseph also. The Lord told Joseph, hey, the king is wanting to kill the child, so take him and the mother, and I want you to move to Egypt. Now, if you remember back in the Old Testament, the Jews had been slaves in Egypt for a long time. I don't remember exactly how many years, the number 400 keeps coming to mind, but I'm not sure if that was it or not. So please don't quote me on that. But for a long time, the Jews were slaves in Egypt. And, you know, it's kind of ironic that now the Lord's saying, hey, take my son to Egypt until Herod, you know, till I tell you to come back, because the king, you know, he's not going to stop looking for him. And Joseph did, without questioning. He did it. So twice in one chapter, two different people did what God asked them to do without questioning. And as you know, of course, it turned out fine. Herod ended up, you know, dying when he was, you know, later on. And when he did pass, God brought Joseph, Mary, and Jesus, he was a child now, back into land of the Jews. So, and if you read this chapter, it's all to fulfill prophecy. But the lesson remains the same. When God asks us to do something, there's a reason for it. And it's always better in the long run if we go ahead and submit and trust and do what He's asking us to do, rather than trying to be stubborn. Anyway, that's what I got from today's reading. I hope you learned something as well. And as always, if you have any comments or questions, leave those in the comments for me, and I will address those as I see them. I hope you have a blessed day in the Lord. I hope that you remember that it is the Lord's day, and I hope that you will be in your local house of God, worshiping Him with other believers. He does say in His word, forsake not the assembling of yourselves together. So I know that as far as I'm planning, I will be in my church as long as my truck cranks and I can get there. So I hope you have a blessed day worshiping the Lord with your fellow believers in your area. And I hope I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.